Being a sub-5 male is one of the biggest disadvantages in life, especially if you are born in the West, where looks are much more emphasized than other third world countries, where survival is prioritized. And yes, I said a sub-5 male and not female, because when you are a sub-5 woman, you're still gonna get plenty of dating choices and a lot of supporting feminine groups blowing smoke up your butt. So there are two ways a person can determine if he is a sub-5 or not. There are social interactions and how you get treated by society in general, and there's the facial attractiveness part of things. And today we will focus on the latter part and leave the first part for a future video. Warning, if you have severe self-image issues, body dysmorphia or depression linked to frustration about the way you look, I recommend you skip this video altogether. I don't want to end up causing more damage. You have been warned. And if you want to support the channel and get your face evaluated by me with LookMax and advice, link will be down in the description. Without further ado, let's get this video started. So there are some defining factors to facial attractiveness in my opinion. Youthfulness, this one is self-explanatory. Body fat percentage, being overweight hurts your attractiveness despite what the fat acceptance in media might tell you. Sorry, but this is the harsh truth. The facial averageness of your features and symmetry. And I want to start with facial averageness. Averageness describes the physical beauty that results from averaging the facial features of people of the same gender and approximately the same age, and ethnicity as well. Here I'm gonna flash a table on screen for measurements of different facial features and the preferable averages of each feature of the following three ethnicities: African, Caucasian, and Asian. Now what I'm about to say might sound contradictory, but I don't swear by facial averageness, because in some cases your feature might stray away from facial averageness and still look attractive, or it might end up hurting your attractiveness depending on how your features harmonize with the face. So how do I determine if someone is a sub-5 then? Well, I look at the most important features that make someone attractive. Let's start with the eyes, for example. Upper eyelid exposure is considered a major flaw when there is excessive amounts of it. And for example, let's say that the flaw is that severe. If the rest of the facial features are not up to par, it's highly likely it knocks you down to a sub-5. You see what I did there? I look at the level of the severity of the flaw, then the rest of the face to see if there is any redeeming features that will save it. Let's say for example that you have 2 or 3 very severe flaws in the eyes. High amounts of upper eyelid exposure, a severe negative canthal tilt, keep in mind I said severe with a pretty bad angle, and high amounts of scleral show, which means in simple man's terms it's the showing of the white under the iris. Then these 3 major flaws combined will hurt your facial attractiveness pretty badly, even if you have some redeeming facial features putting you at a sub-5 level. So I'm gonna go over the possible flaws in the big facial features that mainly determines the person's attractiveness, starting with the eyes. First, the distance between the eyes. They shouldn't be too far apart to the point where it's noticeable to the average person, because you will look like a frog, and the same can be said if they are too close, you will look inbred. If they are a bit closer set or wider set, then it's fine, it's not a big deal. Zayn Malik have close set eyes and it doesn't hurt his attractiveness. For the canthal tilt, it should be either neutral or positive. If it's negative, look at the severity of the angle. The more downturned it is, the worse the flaw will get. But if the negative angle is minimal and if you have good facial features, you can still look attractive. Case in point, Timothée Chalamet. Upper eyelid exposure should also be minimal. Same can be said for the lower eyelid exposure. The more exposure you have over the average, the worse the flaw will get. Scleral show should be tight, and by that I mean no showing of the white under the eyes. Next feature is how deep set your eyes are in the skull. You can be in the danger zone if they bulge out outwards, also called bug eyes. If they are not deeper set, which is preferable, at least they shouldn't bulge out. Next, for the jaw. These are the severe flaws that will put you in the danger zone. First, it's jaw and chin recession. If they are recessed, how severe is that recession? For example, if the jaw is this recessed, just like in this example, then you will also be in the danger zone. Second point is the bigonial width or the jaw width. In simple man's terms, you don't want the jaw to be too narrow. For men, it's preferable wide, or at least average. The gonial angle or the jaw angle should be in between 100 to 120 max. Anything above it, it will start looking too steep, and anything below 100, you will look like a cinder block. The chin to philtrum ratio should be between 1 to 2 to 1 to 3 max. Anything above or below will look strange. And the ramus shouldn't be short. The thirds of the jaw shouldn't also be ridiculous, and by that I mean the chin that overpowers the jaw or jaw thirds that overpowers the chin too much. It should be in between and fairly symmetrical. Another big important feature is the mid-face ratio. It shouldn't be too tall or too short. Another big important feature for men is the hair. It should be full overall. And if you are balding, then the rest of the facial features should be up to par to save you. So let's move on to the second most important feature. So starting off with the nose. Having a bigger nose or crooked nose won't put you in a sub 5 category by itself, unless there is some major deformity in the future or it's ridiculously big to the point where it drives all the attention towards it. Same can be said for the lips. They can be full or bit thin, it's fine, but any major deformities or unnatural size depending on the ethnicity, it will hurt your score pretty bad, because it will be the main feature in the face that attracts all the attention. And these are the features that don't put someone usually at a sub 5 level. How higher set are the cheekbones. I rated above average people with lower set cheekbones. Ears outward protrusion. Yes, the ears protruding are an annoyance and they can hurt your score, but they can be easily camouflaged through the hair. Brow ridge protrusion. For most cases, people have somewhat of an average protrusion. And for black or Asian people, their brow ridge is usually flatter, so it depends on the ethnicity. So yeah, when you want to see if you are a sub 5 or not, you're gonna look if you have any severe flaws, and if you do, what is the severity of those flaws. Is the rest of your facial features redeeming or not? And you also look at other features like nose, mouth, ears, cheekbones, etc. You see the flaws and their severity, then you compare the good features to the bad ones and see which one overpowers which. There are other factors that determine facial attractiveness, and one of those is facial symmetry. Every face is somehow asymmetrical, but the asymmetry becomes an issue the worse it gets and the more noticeable it is. Asymmetries are the most common in the jaw and mid-face, mainly the nose and the cheekbone's height. You might find one cheekbone higher than the other. Asymmetry can also exist in the canthal tilt of the eyes, in the eyelid exposure, eyebrows as well. If you are overweight, then I'm sorry, it is highly likely that you are a sub 5. In fact, majority of the people are rated a sub 5 were overweight or morbidly obese. Because the fat basically ruins two of the most important features in the face. It takes away the definition in the jaw and the mid-face. And it distorts the angle in the jaw as well. Not to mention, it gives unhealthy signal to people around you. There are a lot of people I worked with who have very solid feature, which means their potential for improvement will be great. But the fat takes everything away. And the rest I've rated as sub 5 had major and severe flaw in the important facial features, usually jaw or eyes or both combined. This is what people don't understand about rating your own face. To me, it's not about where you stand in attractiveness, but to give you an idea of where your flaws are and what can be done about them. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, I simplified the information as much as I can to make it accessible to a lot of people. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A like and subscribe would be highly appreciated. And like usual, catch you guys in the next one.